Hey guys, what's up? Bisectatron here from One Hive Gazette, here with the next video, and this one is going to be on something that I think is very underused and underrated at pretty much any town hall level. Anytime you're using a kill squad, it can be very beneficial to throw in 1, 2, 3 Valks. And this isn't for a kill squad that's already going to have 6 to 8 Valks. It's when you have a golem bowler kill squad, maybe even just your heroes and a few golems. It can really supplement your kill squad and give them much more value if you throw in just a couple Valks depending on the size of your kill squad. It'll get you more value using the troop space for a few Valks than it would bringing other wizards or more bowlers or whatever your other option is oftentimes. So in this video, I'm going to be showing some attacks that show my point, that use a few Valks for different purposes, but I'm kind of going to be talking freely just about each of the benefits that the Valks bring because I have a long list of them, and I think you guys, by the end of this video, will see that, yeah, Valks can really be helpful for your kill squad. They have so many different benefits. You're bound to get one of them when you throw them into your kill squad in most situations. So let's get right started with it. The first thing for throwing a few Valks into your kill squad, what it does is it will get those heroes down so much quicker because the Valks will aggro those heroes like magnets. As soon as the defensive king or the defensive queen attacks a troop, the Valks are there. They're the first troop there. Every other troop tends to sit back, takes longer to react, and won't lock onto the heroes and get them taken out as quickly. But Valks, especially under a rage spell, will tear through. Even like 1 or 2 or 3 of them will tear through defensive heroes if they get the opportunity. So it's very valuable to have the defensive heroes go down because they do a surprising amount of DPS. You don't tend to realize it because your kill squads all together, you don't really see what's taking damage from what, but the heroes deal a lot of damage, especially at Town Hall 10, but also at Town Hall 9. They do way more damage than any point defense, and they will melt your golems or your bowlers or whatever you have inside the base. The longer they stay up, the more damage they're able to do. So having those Valks out in front, taking them out, is very beneficial. Now the king often does that job, but this will allow you to not have to pop his ability quite as quickly because if the Valks get that part of the attack done, if they get those defensive heroes taken out, you don't have to use your king's ability until later in the attack when it can be really beneficial and it can really turn the tide and get you the 3-star. So I definitely, or even the 2-star for 10v11 attacks. So Valks are definitely good hero assassins. If you throw a few of them in, especially under a rage spell, they will get those heroes down, taking less damage off your kill squad. Another thing that Valks are good for is the splash damage they deal. For dealing with skeleton traps or even small clan castles full of like witches or goblins or whatever, those Valks will get those taken out quickly, and oftentimes just a few skeletons can hold up an entire kill squad, meaning they take more damage, they get less done. So you're even like 20 bowlers, they do splash damage, but they don't do the same type of splash damage as the Valks. They just throw their rock in one direction, and it's very delayed. Oftentimes they'll shoot at something that's already died. The Valks are instant. They swing, everything around them dies, and they can take out those skeletons much more efficiently than even a bowler can. So bringing a few Valks will ensure that you're not going to get hung up on skeleton traps, and if your poison isn't on point, you're still going to get through those CC troops quick enough if it's a small CC that has goblins, wizards, witches, anything like that. The Valks will be right on top of, which can be very helpful in your attack. The next thing I want to talk about is defenses that are really touching each other. This one is probably the most obvious value the Valks bring, but no troop is as an economic choice for the troop space when buildings are touching than Valks, because their DPS doubles or even triples when they get in a clump of buildings. So it's going to be the best value to use 8 troop space to bring that high amount of damage when you have buildings touching, especially the first layer of defenses, the first 2 layers. You can get those taken out so quickly if you have Valks. It'll allow your bowlers to move on and target stuff over the walls that the Valks otherwise wouldn't be able to target. So definitely a great benefit there. Just taking advantage of the natural ability the Valks have to run in between buildings and do ×2 or ×3 DPS. depending how many buildings they're in between. So a great value there. Another thing they can do is trigger giant bombs. And that's something that's probably the biggest thing I bring them for in my Town Hall 11 2-star attempts. As a Town Hall 10, you're always afraid your bowlers are going to hit like a double giant bomb, and you try to have the golems trigger the giant bombs, but the golems are slow, and sometimes they're moving at the same pace the bowlers are. So if you're unlucky, your bowlers will just get melted by a set of double giant bombs. But if you have a few Valks, what they can do is they'll run out in front to buildings that are touching, which often are farther than other buildings that everything else is targeting. They'll get out ahead, they'll trigger those giant bombs while the rest of your kill squad is still safe behind. And they will die, when they hit that many giant bombs. But it's a good investment to just go ahead and get that taken care of ahead of time. So if you have a big bowler kill squad, they're not going to all get blown up by that giant bomb set. So another good use for them there. Finally, two more good uses, kind of similar, but funneling. Valks are good for funneling, and then they move in with your kill squad. So if you see a bunch of buildings that are touching, and let's say your golem can't tank it, the place you happen to drop your golem can't tank a certain defense, and that jeopardizes your funnel, you can drop a few Valks because they're tanky enough that even with like 1 or 2 point defense on them, they'll still create the funnel, and whatever's left of them will come back inside the base if the pathing is right. So you'll get good value because even if you go a little bit heavy and there's some Valks left over from the funnel, they'll come inside the base, and they'll continue to serve you inside the base as well with all the previous benefits I talked about. Now, one last benefit to kind of play off that last one is inside the base, how they funnel. Valks will run out in front and take out buildings that are, within reach, often buildings that you want to get taken out for your funnel. So let's say you're doing a 10v11 attempt and you have 16 bowlers and like 4 Valks. The 4 Valks will run out in front, they'll take out a bunch of buildings, and oftentimes that'll create the funnel in the second layer of the base for the bowlers to then come behind and go deeper in the base. They won't go off to each side because the Valks will have already done that. They'll have already cleared out the potential paths that will lead your bowlers astray. So Valks can funnel in multiple different ways. And all those reasons, my recommendation is if you have the troop space, Town Hall 10v11 attempts especially, but also Town Hall 9 attacks, just 9v9, and even 10v10 attacks. Bring those Valks. They can get great value for all the reasons I listed. Typically, I recommend just like 1 or 2 Valks, but if you have a ton of bowlers, bring 3 or 4. It's worth it. So hope this video helped. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bisectatron out.